A very rapid change of political events happened in a very quick period of time in the days of Daniel. Daniel saw the collapse, or he witnessed the collapse of the Assyrian Empire. Everybody thought they were the bad guys. They were the ones who conquered the 10 northern tribes. Everybody was terrified of the Assyrians. But overnight, they imploded and collapsed. And out of nowhere came something much more dangerous, Babylon. Then at its peak, out of nowhere, Babylon collapses. And as Daniel prophesied, came the Medo-Persians. Then along comes Philip of Macedonia, followed by his son Alexander the Great. Persian Empire collapses. Then at the age of 36, at his absolute peak, Alexander dies and his empire is fragmented to 4 of his generals, just as Daniel predicted. And a chaos comes, and out of that chaos emerges Rome, just as Daniel saw would happen. And in the middle of all of it, the Jews returned to their land. Well, the last days was the same thing. If you told someone of my generation that the Soviet Empire would self-destruct overnight, it would have seemed impossible, but it did. My grandparents were born in Britain. I lived mostly in London, England. If you told my grandparents that the sun would set every 24 hours on the British Empire or the French Empire, it would have seemed impossible. Now the sun sets every 24 hours on the British Empire, the French Empire. Come and they go quickly. Hardly 15 years ago, Japan was the economic dynamo of Asia. Second biggest economy in the world. They had 4 recessions in 10 years. They're being eclipsed by the meteoric rise of China. That went from nothing. It was the size of its market. A very rapid series of political changes. And in the middle of all of it, just like in the book of Daniel, the Jews returned back to their land. We have to understand what happened in Daniel's day to understand the last days. Europe is turning into something non-democratic. A federal, non-democratic Europe. Now, I live in Britain. It's like this. In Eastern Europe, federalism didn't work. The Soviet Union, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, the federal states of Eastern Europe all broke up. It didn't work. They got tired of being ruled by an unelected socialist bureaucracy. It collapsed. What failed and collapsed in Eastern Europe, now Western Europe is turning to it. Countries like France, Italy, Germany, Britain, they're choosing to be governed by an unelected socialist bureaucracy in a federal Europe. What didn't work in Eastern Europe, they're trying to make it work in Western. This is what Daniel said would happen. They'll try to make the iron stick to the clay. They'll try to bring about an artificial federalism in the character of the old Roman Empire. It's happening as we speak. When one goes down, because these nations have lost their sovereignty and control of their economy, they all have the euro now, what happens? Well, we have to bail out Greece. Let them go their own way. Oh, we can't do that now. We have a common market. We have a common currency. You can't let that happen. Exactly what Daniel said was going to happen. They must make the iron stick to the clay. So people in Sweden or England are bewildered. Why should we worry about this? Well, we have to now. If they go down, we can all go down. So it is. And of course, we have Israel. We have Iran. We have Europe. That's just in the last 24 hours. That's the way it's going to be. Prophetic events are going to happen more and more quickly before Jesus comes.